Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. We're now joined by former men's soccer coach Mike Schaefer. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me here.
So, Coach, how's retirement life been after being at UNCP for 30 years?
Well, it's been good. It was, I think, time for me to step away from coaching, and I've enjoyed having a little slower paced life over the last year and a half.
What do you miss most about coaching at UNCP?
Well, I think the game day coaching is what you miss, the excitement of competing against other coaches and other teams and having your players put into practice the things that you've been working on for that game.
What did you enjoy most about coaching, and what was your least favorite part about coaching?
Well, I think watching players develop on the field and away from the field was what I consider to be my greatest reward. I think, like most coaches, what we don't like is all the things involved in coaching that actually have nothing to do with teaching the game and working with players, the paperwork, academic counseling and stuff like that, which are very necessary, but that's not what's fun.
And what did you learn or take away from your time coaching at UNCP, and did your coaching strategy change over the years as you learned more?
Well, I think you learn to deal with different players and different personalities. Over 37 years of coaching, 30 years here, a lot of time change. Players are brought up in different environments, and the way that I coached players in 1982, 1983 wouldn't work in 2005 or 2006. So you constantly, it's a matter of adjusting to the times. And, at our level, I had to be flexible in how I coached because I tried to recruit the best players I could get and then design a system that would work with the talents of those players, as opposed to trying to be able to go out, have a system that I stuck to and go out and recruit players that fit that system. I don't think most of us at this level have that luxury.
Right. What are some of the memorable moments that you can remember about your time coaching at UNCP?
Well, there are a number of real moments. Making it the winning the game in the national quarterfinals in 2004 that qualified us to the Final Four. Tremendous crowd over at the stadium. That was a real exciting game. I think my last season, the first game we played at Montevallo, coming back from a 3-0 deficit at halftime and winning that game 4-3 in overtime, that was a real exciting time too. So, the games, you remember those. Watching some of my players graduate, I think that was a real thrill for me with some of them. Some of them I wondered if that would happen.
Right. You also had 3 trips to the NCAA Tournament.
Yeah.
Any comments on that as to looking back on the situation now?
Yeah. Well, it's a real challenge to get to the NCAA, and in those days it was even greater challenge because there were only 16 teams in the tournament then, and only 2 teams from a region, as opposed to right now our region gets six spots, and we had just about the same number of teams. So it was a challenge. Trip to the Final Four was magical, and I would wish that any coach that had been in the game 15, 20 years gets that experience at least one time.
Are there any players or coaches that you keep in touch with?
I've been able to make contact with a lot of players over the last year and a half since I've been retired. I was not the best networker while I was still coaching. I think I stayed too busy, not having a full-time assistant until late in my career. That was one of the things that I didn't do well with, and I've been able to reconnect with a lot of my former players over the last few years, and there are a number of them that I stay in fairly regular contact with.
And any coaches that you have around the area that you keep in touch with that you've coached alongside or recruited with?
Yeah, I still have quite a few coaches in my contact list, and I'll pick up the phone every now and then and call and see how recruiting's going and laugh at them when they have to leave the day after Christmas to go to a soccer tournament to recruit, and just kind of chuckle with them and wish them well.
Right. All right, well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll continue talking with former men's soccer coach Mike Schaefer. Stay tuned.